We are back. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today is February 2nd, 2016. It's about 8:17 p.m. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show, man. Go to our website, streaming live from the VI.com. As promised, we do have our guest on the line, Shalima Edwards. Shalima, can you hear us? Good night to everybody here. Shalima's on the phone here.
Good night, Shalima.
So how you doing?
Sometimes things are just beyond my control, so I just have to deal with it as it comes. So I was hoping to have been there in person, but thank you guys for accommodating me via phone.
Okay.
No problem.
No problem at all, man.
So let's get straight to it, Shalima. What's going on with the labor union? We know it's the 100th anniversary since the first strike in the Caribbean, and it took place here on St. Croix, January 23rd, right? 1916 and 1915.
Okay, well, as it relates to the union, let's put it in this perspective. The St. Croix Labor Union, it was founded in 1915.
Right.
And founded by David Hamilton Jackson and Ralph Bow. And David Hamilton Jackson was the first president of that union. So actually, last year, November 1st, marked the 100th anniversary of the St. Croix Labor Union.
Okay.
And then last month, January 23rd, 2016, marked the 100th anniversary of the St. Croix Labor Union strike.
Right.
And why is it so significant in our story here in the Virgin Islands is as a result of the laborers, uniting and took the stand that they took. It actually caused the Danes to send a warship. Thinking that there may be a revolt going to take place here on St. Croix again.
Right.
So that just went to show how when we come together as a people, great things could be changed. And their issue back then was regarding the wages.
Okay.
So it's nothing, if you have to look 100 years ago to now, this is like the same situation occurring when it comes to wage increases.
Okay.
Especially for government employees or union members who haven't received increases in their wages for several years. So it's a comparison that we have to reflect on. That here it took 100 years ago. The laborers were fighting or protesting about their wages. And the wages situation is, of something significant now. However, I will say now, let's contrast. The difference back then is the members then pulled together and they made a difference. And they did get an increase in their wages.
Right.
But today's union members, there is a lack of unity amongst even the unions to come together to take such a stand that will, say, hey, our members haven't received wage increases for nearly 10 years or so. And they shouldn't have to wait 10 years, okay? Because the St. Croix Labor Union, they didn't wait those 10 years, they decided, okay, look, we're going to apply pressure. They don't want to do it, then, okay, well, let's just walk away from the plantation. And that's what they did. So it's good to know our story.
Right.
And, decide on what direction we need to go. Because if we don't know our story, then we will just continue to be taken advantage of.
So let me ask you this now, 2016, February 2nd. How many labor unions are there in the territory right now, presently, to begin with?
To my knowledge, college, I know it's been said about 20 unions, but I think it's more so there are unions such as the steelworkers that have various chapters
Right.
or locals. So maybe a combination of the steelworkers union. You have the UIW-SIU. You have the police union, firefighter union, even AFT and Overloo. So I think in combine with their different local chapters of steelworkers, maybe you have about 20 or so.
Do you know if if all of them do get together at any point in time and congregate, meet, correspond to know what's going on with the members or
Amongst themselves, yeah.
amongst themselves, have any kind of
I
meeting?
didn't hear that question. You could speak up or the volume is...
Do you know if the unions itself meet and have like a general meeting to discuss the issues within the union and the union members, or that's done separately by each union?
Well, I can't speak about all the unions. I know that, say, for example, SIU have been consistent these times. For several years, they weren't being consistent in holding union meetings, but they have been consistent for a couple of years now. So, like, they would meet every at least 3 times a year. I think I don't know if that's the situation now with Overloo, but Overloo's meeting used to be every month, once a month. Again, I don't know how consistent that union is since others and myself have been kicked out of that union. So the steel workers, I can't speak of knowing if they hold regular meetings as well.
The reason why I was asking that, Shalima, because to my knowledge, I'm just going from what you said, basically that they have these amount of unions, and I was just wondering why isn't the unions them getting together, or even the members of these unions, to formulate to voice their opinions publicly, as they have a right to do.
Well, I had an experience with one of the unions in which, and I've echoed it, that members' participation is important.
Right.
But when you have members who are actually participating and you have leadership that they will find all kind of excuses that, well, if we do this, then we can't move forward because we don't have a strike fund. You have to pay separate for a strike fund. That's discouraging. If you have leadership that is passive, and not really going out there to encourage the members to get involved, then you will find that there are members that just won't do anything, unfortunately. Yes, I would say that the members too should, either do it among themselves to get the message out there. But the question that would be raised is, okay, but why do we pay union dues and we have leadership in place? So it's a combination of the members' participation, and when you're in a union situated where your union dues are staying here locally, especially, that you need to make sure that the leadership in the union actually becomes active and not just passive,
Yeah.
So it's a combination of things. And on another side, when members are, they want to participate and with an issue with not being able to have a strike fund in place, I find that to be where, like, a lot of international unions, and I'll speak specifically for SIU, it's like, okay, why should we have to pay something separate if we want to have a strike fund? Why can't we utilize the dues that are coming out of our pay? And the excuses that I've heard is that decisions like that have to be made at the convention. And when you're talking convention, you're talking about leaving the territory where probably about 13 members serve as delegates
Right.
for the entire population of members in SIU, for example. They're going to go to a convention on the continent of the U.S. And amongst other delegates that might be about probably 100 or so, there you have just 13 representing the Virgin Islands, and we're outnumbered. So if we want, to really make a stand, then we are at the mercy of the others.
Okay.
And I find that to be very challenging for members who are situated in that union
Right.
to actually make a stand with their union dues. So, with all of that said, I think the members then, and irrespective of whatever union they're in, they need to pay attention to how their union dues are being spent and how they would like their union dues to be spent. That's where they need to be vocal and come together and take a stand. Otherwise, the leadership of the unions will just continue to say, well, they can't do anything, but that's not true. If you want change to happen, it's just a matter of making it happen, coming together, and being consistent to make it happen.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So you were on our show some time back. Has anything changed for the better between then and now, with the whole unions and stuff? Anything gotten better?
When I was on your show, I think it was me and Miss Lewis, Daphne Lewis.
Yes.
Related to the situation that we encountered with Overloo. It hasn't turned to the better because it's been, close to 2 years that issue has been out there, and one of the founders of Overloo, and that's Terrence Hodgson Nelson, had mentioned it on a talk show program in 2014 that he's going to look into it, knowing that their intention was to have anyone be able to just join Overloo, and they saw that, okay, well, there is an error that was made, so now they have an opportunity to address it, or they had an opportunity to address it, to allow for me and the others to return into Overloo, in Overloo, and now it has been about 2 years and nothing has changed.
Okay.
So we're not holding our breath, obviously, that they would make the necessary change, but we are looking forward in continuing to. Well, I shouldn't say continue, but to look in another direction that where Overloo's foundation came from, the St. Croix Labor Union, it was beneficial to the members, and as individuals who have been targeted, I can speak for myself in this case, that I have to look at another way in which we could definitely revitalize the St. Croix Labor Union so that it could benefit the people. And, I guess I can say, just look forward in the future for something to happen. And, once that occurs, definitely I'll expound on it. But we are looking at, a different direction to see to it that things get better for the members in general, our community in general. So,
But besides that, I guess that besides that particular issue that you were just talking about there, has anything gotten better? I mean, with the unions, I don't know. I'm just asking sort of a question. I mean, has any progress been made?
And is Overloo still presently active?
I haven't heard much about. I haven't heard anything actually from Overloo at all, publicly or anything like that. saying anything about any issues. I know that there are some members who are, currently in Overloo who haven't got kicked out, have expressed, concerns or what have you. But I'd like to take this time to just, if they're listening, the power is in your hands, and if things are not going the way that it should go to benefit you, you're paying your union dues, then, there are options you can take.
Okay.
So, you don't need to suffer. You can, take actions that will help alleviate the situation that you may be in.
Are you presently part of any union right now, Shalima?
Yeah. Presently, I am a member of SIU, and that is because of where I work. That union is what's called the exclusive representative of my unit, or that unit.
Right.
And I will have to say, even though I have advocated to decertify from that union, SIU, after I've learned what transpired with the St. Croix Labor Union and that union, I went as far as saying that I no longer want to be a member of this union, and it was shown where, according to Act 4440, if you're not paying union dues, you have to pay in lieu of union dues. So I requested not to pay union dues to that particular union, and I was informed by the union, well, I'll have to pay in lieu. I said, okay, no problem, I'll pay in lieu. However, in lieu is, it was just slightly less than what I'm actually paying in union dues.
Mm.
So, but so I'm a union member under the what is it? I'm not a. I oppose it.
Right.
However, because according to the law, it is how I have to be situated. Until such time, I think the law needs to get changed. Actually, that would not force anyone to be in a union.
Okay. And who make these changes? Our legislature, our senators?
Yeah, definitely. Because Act 4440, that came about through the legislature. So that's something that would need to be looked into and changed.
How long ago was this act on board? You know?
Oh yeah, I think it was since the 80s.
Okay. So let me ask you, Shalima, what any positive vibrations from the new governorship that we have with the labor unions? Is that at a standstill, or are they helping, or any talks?
Well, what I've heard, based on the state of the territory, that union members who have gone through the negotiations and that has been ratified, they will be receiving an increase.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a positive thing. I don't know how consistent it will be when it comes to the revenues, so that they will be able to sustain their new increase. Because, if it was a one-time thing, then the situation is going to be that, okay, well, we don't have money to sustain these raises. So now we have to cut the salary. So
yes.
It sounds good right now. However, if there isn't anything, any funds or revenues that will be, coming in, then, we're going to expect that there is going to be a cut somewhere.
Yes. That's kind of usually how that works, in a sense,
So do you feel positive about the labor union movement right now on St. Croix in particular at this present moment?
I'll have to say again, I would say that I am not too much pleased with the fact that our history, and I have to say it, and I wish I was there and probably could, if I could have shown a clip of the latest documentary I did, which is The Awakening of the St. Croix Labor Union Members. I think if all the union members in the various unions would realize that we had a union, a great union, that was founded before these international unions came in our territory, that they would have seen their relatives were members of St. Croix Labor Union. And when you, as I'm speaking in general, when you pay into these unions, a great percentage of your union dues leave the territory. And, you know, there's a question that we all need to ask ourselves, you know, how beneficial is it to have our union dues leave our territory, whereas they could stay here and, you know, circulate here and do the things that, you know, would be necessary for us to benefit. And that's the international union. Now, coming to the local union, I would say to the members especially, okay, well, there's a local union. The union dues are supposed to stay here. How is it working for you? If it's not working for you, then you have a right to, you know, go to the union and demand that, hey, we want to see something different. And those are the stands I could say should be taken when it comes to union members and unions right now. I'm not fully pleased with how our unions are operating right now. I think that the members then especially need to understand the story behind St. Croix Labor Union and see how, you know, when we actually work together, keeping our monies here, then we will say, hey, should we really be in a union that disregard us by having us send a large amount of our union dues out of our territory? You know, it's a time for reflection. I think everybody needs to really reflect on the unions that they are in and, you know, seek to make a change. When we seek to make a change, then collectively we can make a difference. And I have to say that it's not to destroy any union, but it's just to help the members then to open their eyes and see that, hey, if you all want to make a change, then collectively you can make a change. Unions can do great things, and, you know, the leadership, if the leadership and the heads of the union doesn't want these things to happen, then you have options, and then there are ways that you can make a difference.
Okay. Our guest tonight is Shalima Edwards. She's on the phone. She's talking about representing the St. Croix Labor Union. You okay over there where you are? Shalima?
Hello?
Are you okay over there?
Over here?
Yeah, I'm just sort of a fictitious question. You need a break or anything, or are you good?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. So as we go on here, so give me a couple of things, man. If you were in charge of the labor union, what would you like put in play that you think would make a drastic change in the way it's operating, the way it's functioning, would make the members happier with the labor unions here?
Well, definitely, if I was in a leadership position in a union, I'll definitely start by asking, even though I have my own views of what's needed, I would ask the members, you know, what are the issues that they have in the community, because they live in the community, and, you know, what ways that they may see their money being used to help them. Because I want them to understand that their union dues can be used in whatever legal way that they want it to be used. So by asking them some questions like that, or even bringing to their attention that, hey, there are ways that your union dues could be used for in a co-op, investing in land, in you know, agriculture, just showing that there are ways that they can utilize their union dues. We need to get out of the thinking that union dues is just to represent members because of disputes. No, union dues can be used for anything in which the members then collectively want.
Right.
And if they want a strike fund, then money could be set aside for a strike fund. If they want to purchase land, let us have our agriculture, grow food or what have you, that can be done as well.
Okay.
So the power is in the union members, and I would instill that in them so that they could understand that they actually have power.
So what do you think today we're not utilizing that power within the union as members, leaders of?
I think for the most part they are unaware of it, and sometimes their leadership may tell them, well, the union dues is to just pay for the cost of the shelter in terms of office space, the rent, electricity, to pay the attorney, and that's it, and so they may think, okay, well, that's all our union dues are for. However, it's not. Again, it's once the members collectively come together and say, well, we want some of our money to be going towards this or that, then that they have that right. And it may be, too, that the leadership aren't aware of how union dues can be used. Some drastic measures would have to take place, I would say, because, again, when unions send a great percentage of their dues out of our territory, and the little that they have is just to maintain office space, then, it's like, okay, well, we can't do much. But you could do much if the greater number, remain here in the territory. And, so...
But the bottom line again comes back again towards the members. Again, the members have to be...
You got to step up a little bit.
The members have to be educated and be aware of what is going on around them and why they're paying the dues for to begin with.
Right. And I'll share some websites not website addresses, but if they visit the U.S. Department of Labor website, or if they visit the National Labor Relations Board website or Act, they just give some information about union dues, and at least that would help them to understand that they can use union dues collectively. So those are the two areas I would suggest that they look at for now, to at least begin the process of being aware and then sharing it with the leadership. I remember several years ago when I started to get involved in unionism, that some leaders were actually saying, "Oh, your union dues can't be used to strike, or union dues can't be used to buy land or anything like that." And it was a challenge because here's this younger person and being told by the older leadership of the union these things, and I had to share the information with them.
Right. Right.
So it's like, oh well,
okay.
that they decide, okay, well, they couldn't say much because once you become aware of the laws that exist, that the unions are bounded to, then they can't dismiss it.
Okay.
You can't dismiss the facts.
Okay.
So there are ways that union dues could benefit the members, and it's time that everyone become more aware of it and utilize it to benefit. Because I do know, like, say for example, I'll use the example of SIU, and that union will always stick in my mind because of what transpired between the St. Croix Labor Union and that union. That they actually have a training center for their members up in Maryland.
Right.
And I'm saying that, look, back then when St. Croix Labor Union was in existence and a so-called merger took place that caused all the assets of St. Croix Labor Union to be turned over to SIU, Seafarers International Union. Now it's like, here's the Seafarers International Union, utilize those assets in creating this school or training center, for the members, and it's like, wow, our people monies, our, what St. Croix Labor Union had,
right, gone
all those
upstairs.
monies, it's like, it just gone
In the wind.
island,
Right.
So it's like, hey, again, we need to know our story and understand and appreciate what our ancestors have done. And it's time that we right now realize that it can happen again when we, take a stand
full
and
control.
say,
Right.
Yeah.
So definitely.
The video that you made, the documentary that you made, is it a recently update from the previous one that you had before?
Yes, definitely. I produced it, I finalized it in 2015.
Right.
I think it was in October. And it highlights the first documentary that I did, Remember in the Past to Strengthen Our Future, about David Hamilton Jackson. So clips of that, clips of the St. Croix Labor Union still exist, are also incorporated in this last one that I did. And the highlight of it is, as the title is, The Awakening of the St. Croix Labor Union Members. It's to reflect and to make people aware of that their relatives were actually part of St. Croix Labor Union, and we need to, as the offsprings of these members, realize that we came from greatness and we need to continue in that path and not forget about it. And actually, although St. Croix Labor Union had about 6,000 members, the documentary doesn't show as close to that number, and that's as a result of paperwork that were destroyed from a fire, and so I don't have the total number of those members shown in the documentary, but a small percentage. But we can just use our imagination for a second. We have various people from different islands, and in the documentary highlighted some of the places in which some of these members actually were born. So we have like Antigua, we have Tortola, St. Kitts, Nieves, Vieques, Puerto Rico, for example, St. Thomas, St. John are also included in there. So just think about relatives who were not born here, but during the time of the creation of the St. Croix Labor Union, and we're talking about since 1915, that some of those members actually migrated here to these Virgin Islands, and they had children. So if you're from any of those islands, chances are your relatives were probably part of the St. Croix Labor Union, and I would encourage individuals to do this, because I wasn't aware that my great-grandfather, for example, was involved in the St. Croix Labor Union, although his name is shown in the documentary, but because of the information I got from my uncle, and he's living, and he and other relatives have also witnessed that, your great-grandfather was involved with the St. Croix Labor Union, that made me be like, really? And it just also highlighted that, hey, if you don't know your family history, chances are you won't be aware of the great things, or where they were involved, and what they were involved in. And let me just say this, all things that were done during the time of St. Croix Labor Union may not have been great in that we have or had members who were very supportive, yes, of the union, and then there were those who were not supportive of the union. But when they saw that, they can't disagree that St. Croix Labor Union had the ability and did purchase land for their members. They even, St. Croix Labor Union had its own bank.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as offspring, we need to understand that some of our ancestors did not do supportive things to help strengthen the St. Croix Labor Union. And right now in this time, we have an opportunity to change the situation of being now supportive of something that is benefited our people or that will benefit our people. It's time that we, reflect on, okay, well, if my great-grandmother or my great-grandfather was not helpful during that time, I want to see an improvement in my community, and I'm going to do some, positive things to make sure that my children and children to come will benefit from it. So, there's the good and there's the bad, but we as individuals, as offspring, we have to decide which path we want to take. So, the awakening of the St. Croix Labor Union members is actually targeting these offsprings now. It's time to wake up, wake up the thing that comes within you. Without your ancestors, you would not be here.
Yes.
So, it's time for us to see what path we want to take to improve our situation here today.
Yeah. Let me ask you, any insight into the celebration coming up that you can share? I mean, anything that that is of importance?
I'll repeat that again, please.
The celebration coming up for the 100 years. Is anything that you can share of importance? Are you involved in that in any capacity, or?
Well, the 100 years took place already. The November 1st, and I missed you guys with that. I've been involved with a group, the Committee for Afrocentric Empowerment, and we've done several things leading up to the November 1st 100th anniversary that took place last year to recognize the Hamilton Jackson and the St. Croix Labor Union.
Okay.
And just recently, last month, we actually held we did a showing of the documentary I did, The Awakening of the St. Croix Labor Union, and that was shown at UVI Great Hall. That was in collaboration with UVI, the ICCC,
yes,
and the Committee for Afrocentric Empowerment. So it was shown on the 23rd, which marked the 100th anniversary of the strike. So, so that was the last thing that we did in recognizing the 100th anniversary of the St. Croix Labor Union.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Shalima, how long did that strike last? Did you can you recall?
I think it lasted for about a month.
Okay.
Maybe a little more. I think March it ended. So I would say estimated about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, and the stories behind this, as I was told by, what would he be, the grand nephew of David Hamilton Jackson. He shared a story. He remembered back then, as a child, from his father's standpoint, a relative was saying that you all need to plant your peas, plant the pigeon peas. And it was like, okay, why plant pigeon peas? Several months later, here comes the strike. So he kind of connected the reason behind planting pigeon peas because there was something coming up, and that was the strike.
Make sure you have
So
food
it's
to
like,
eat because
hey,
you're going to be working.
So it's good to hear stories from the relatives of members from St. Croix Labor Union, because they have stories that their grandparents shared with them, and I remember in the interviews that I had with Mario C. Moorhead, he also definitely, as a grandchild of the treasurer of the St. Croix Labor Union, so he heard or was told directly from his grandfather of what transpired with the St. Croix Labor Union. So I think the next thing that we should look forward in doing collectively is interviewing members from the St. Croix Labor Union.
Okay.
Because then it would help the family members, the children, in knowing now that really my relative was a part of St. Croix Labor Union. So when they hear David Hamilton Jackson, and they will reflect, well, he was the founder, he was one of the founders of St. Croix Labor Union here on St. Croix. I think that would build confidence and pride in our young people, especially because I think a lot of young people don't know the story behind the greatness that took place, and they may not feel worthy or valuable, and they just do things that it's like, okay, well, they could care less. But once they see that there is a connection with the St. Croix Labor Union, I think they will look forward in improving their life and where they live.
Okay. So I just want to clarify something, Shalima. So the SIU right now presently is what took over from the residents of the St. Croix Labor Union?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's correct. And in the documentary, The Awakening of the St. Croix Labor Union, it also speaks about that, about the assets of St. Croix Labor Union, which is now in the hands of SIU. So that's included in it as well.
Okay. So currently, do the unions I'm going to ask, have lawyers working for them? Have their own lawyers? Do the union have their own lawyers?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because, I mean, how did something like that was allowed to transpire and nobody is looking into it or nobody's saying anything about the whole situation?
Oh, okay. Well, I think, are you referring to the St. Croix Labor Union?
Yes. Was it something legally done, or it was something that was taken over, or it was a takeover that took place, or what?
Well, I would say it was a takeover. I would say that the union cannot be dissolved when there are standing members that are in existence, and they made it appear. They made it as though the St. Croix Labor Union dissolved, and now the assets have to be distributed, and they call it like a merger. So that took place, I think, either the late 70s or early 80s.
Okay.
And there were members of St. Croix Labor Union still in existence. But again, just like in today's unions, if the members aren't participating in knowing, going to meetings or aware of what's happening, then, things like that could happen. And that's what apparently happened. I don't know of there being an attorney at the time working for the St. Croix Labor Union when that took place. But, it's unfortunate, and I feel, hey, with the legal minds that we have today, I really would hope that they can really look into what took place and find some type of way to right the wrong that took place, with all these assets. And actually there are beneficiaries of the St. Croix Labor Union that are alive.
Yes.
So if in fact, they were to benefit from the land or what have you, and they're not benefited because of what took place, then, it's an injustice. And I think it's going to continue until legal minds really come together to look into this matter.
Okay.
And this situation has been in existence for years, and I do know with a small community of ours that they can't pretend that they aren't aware of this situation. I mean, it's been spoken about several times on the air, and even to the extent that, hey, it's on on DVD.
Right.
So people are aware of what happened. So it's just a matter of legal minds,
Getting
courage,
together.
legal minds, doing something about it.
Yeah. So let me ask you a quick question. Not to cut you off, Sue. Just recently, the governor of the Virgin Islands appointed somebody. I'm not sure if appointed is the right word, but Sue, I think you and I mentioned this lady's name. Is it Natalie? If I'm not mistaken, she's an attorney. Did you hear anything? Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, yes, I actually heard about that. Natalie.
Yeah, but my question.
Yes.
So her involvement now with the labor union, is that good? Does that help make things better? I wasn't really quite clear about that when he made it announcement. I was trying to figure out, okay, so who is she representing? But is her being involved now going to make the process better?
I could only hope that it will make the process better. She is the chief negotiator for the government. And so when unions, let's say, for example, contract expires and they need to renew their contract, she would be the one who will be negotiating on behalf of the government.
The government, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think with the situation that the unions found themselves when the last Governor De Young, decided to cease negotiations because there are a lack of funds, and now with the appointment of her with this new governor, it would signal, hopefully, that negotiations will continue, especially for those unions whose contracts have been expired for several years. That's the hope that I would say that may be coming as a result of her appointment.
Okay.
But again, I would emphasize that if there aren't revenues coming in, then the issue about increasing government employees' wages, for example, that might be put on hold because of there being a lack of revenues coming in. So it's good that, yes, you have that the governor appointed her to be chief negotiator. However, if they're going to talk about increasing salaries and there's no revenues to coming in, then there may just be that might just be an indication that, okay, well, we have to cease negotiations when it's concerning wage increases.
Okay, I got you.
Shalima, can I ask you a quick question? The government within the Virgin Islands do each, like, I'm just like human services,
the different agencies,
the education department, right? Each entity have their own separate union, right?
With the exception of SIU for the government, it's called the Master Agreement. It's so interesting of how they have that label as the Master
Agreement. Exactly. Words play on you understand?
Because you have several departments that fall under that Master Agreement. So, like, you have not agriculture anymore, that one they decertified from SIU. Let's say human services, you have Department of Health, you have planet and natural resources. For example, I think the school crossing guards are under that master agreement. So when they negotiate, they have to negotiate on behalf of all those departments that fall under the master agreement. Now, for teachers, they're different. They have the AFC union, you know.
Right.
So it depends on how it's set up. Several departments could be under one master agreement, or it may be separated depending on the union too.
Okay.
So basically, when is the okay? You say SIU is not allowed to strike, and if the members do strike, what will happen on the disagreement right on the presently agreement that they have right now?
And that's so interesting. In most of these contracts, and I think with SIU, that they waive the right to strike. And when you waive the right to strike, that's taken away the power that you have by law that you can strike. And when there are, and I can't say that's the case with SIU right now, but if unions have in place a strike fund, right, and you're going to have in your contract that you waive your right to strike, then you defeat the purpose of having a strike fund.
A strike fund, yes.
So that money goes to something else, basically. They put a strike fund, but it ain't really a strike fund. It's for something else.
Exactly, because if it's not being utilized for that, then it's just standing still, you know. So I would say that all unions, and especially the members, need to be aware of this also, that if the law allows you to strike, you should not agree to have in your contract to waive your right from striking.
From striking, yes.
I would strongly suggest that you have language in place that would say something to the effect that, okay, we're going to try and work out the situation, and striking will be the last
alternative
of action,
right,
rather than saying to just waive your right in its entirety. And then some would say, well, wait until the contract expires for you to then strike. But when you wait for your contract to expire, that may take about 2-3 years.
Yes.
And the injustices are,
continue
taking
to
place.
grow, to mount.
So you're putting yourself in a bad situation when you waive your right to strike. So that's one other highlight I want to encourage union members to be aware of, that you do have a right to strike. Just do not have it or agree to have it in the contract to say to waive your right. So you waive your right, that means you can't strike. You can't strike.
Who knew and who in the union negotiate these contracts? Is it before the contract comes out towards the negotiating table? Do the members have a vote on any issue within the contract, or it just goes by a body of the union? They decide, well, this is what we want in there, and then they go for it.
No, it actually has to go before the members then. Definitely.
Okay.
And also be aware of that, because whatever is being negotiated, you may have few individuals who will be negotiating on the members' behalf. Not the entire body of the members will be, negotiating with the chief negotiator, but you may have a couple representatives.
Right.
But they have to bring it to the body of the union, of the members, to show, okay, well, this is what we negotiated. Are you in agreement with it? Then the members have to say yes or no, so that has to take place. And if members aren't aware of that, then you definitely need to pull up your leadership and see to it that, hey, we want to be a part of this process. We're supposed to be a part of this process because the contract, whatever contract is going to be in place is going to affect us, and at least we need to, have a say before it's finalized.
Okay.
So our guest tonight is Shalima Edwards. She's with the St. Croix Labor Union. We just been commenting on a few things here and there. Shifting gears here.
Let me just clarify. When you said a St. Croix Labor Union, a St. Croix Labor Union as an active union, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't
it's
exist
not
no more.
because of the situation that
right. It dissolved.
has caused it to now
Transfer.
be in the hands of SIU.
Okay.
So I would say, that I definitely am an offspring of a member or members of the St. Croix Labor Union. So I'm just, I wanted to highlight that because it's in my heart. St. Croix Labor Union is in my heart, and I think when more people become aware of their connection with that union, they too will see to it that, hey, we need a better tomorrow. We need to improve things. So they too will then say, yeah, I'm for St. Croix Labor Union,
Right.
So, yeah.
Is there any possibility that the St. Croix Labor Union can be revived again?
I would say the concept, the principles of St. Croix Labor Union can definitely be revitalized. But as an entity, to say that you're going to use the name St. Croix Labor Union as a functioning union, you will be challenged. Such as the case when several individuals wanted to use the name St. Croix Labor Union in creating a union. They were challenged by SIU actually in the court because they're using a name which now belongs to them, so to speak. So that can't be done, and just speaking about it just made me reflect on one of the properties, because there are several properties on this island of St. Croix, that belong to St. Croix Labor Union. And even in the deeds, recorder of deeds, if you go and visit there one of those days, or even, I think it may still show in the tax assessor's office, but the properties are still under St. Croix Labor Union. And one of the housing communities that exists in Grove Place, the wall says Mutual Home, St. Croix Mutual Home, but on the recorder of deeds, it says St. Croix Labor Union Mutual Home.
Okay.
So, it's there. It's there. It's hidden,
Right.
It's hidden, and
so people like yourself and individuals that care about this have to just keep bringing this thing up to the forefront.
Yeah, and I would encourage, people to, you can do your own homework, if you want to, or at another time maybe, guys, I'd love to at least have you show the documentary that I did, clips of it or what have you. But I think that would help, open the eyes of many, many people here on this island, in this territory.
Right. Are you have any more? Are you going to have any more public viewings of the documentary? In the near future?
Non-scheduled. I'm open to any group or organization, however, that may want to show it, have it shown.
Right.
So definitely, I'm open to that. But there's nothing scheduled right now for our next showing.
Okay. All right. And do you have it on the market for sale?
I'm asking for a donation. That's as a result of having it, copied. So it's a small donation, I'm asking for. Just $3. If there's a place that wants to carry it, then, it will be up to that place how much they want to have it sold for. But, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little donation, but I think the information on it is very valuable. to have.
Right.
Definitely valuable to have.
Okay.
All right, our guest tonight is Shalima Edwards. It's about 9:16 p.m. And real quick, Shalima, is anything you want to give any of your contact information, like your Facebook or your telephone number, so that people can get a hold of you?
Sure. They can inbox me or, on my Facebook page, Shalima Edwards.
Okay.
Or they can contact me at 643-7599.
Okay.
Again, 643-7599. If they're like to contact me.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Well, we want to say thank you, Shalima, for coming out and spending some time with us to kind of get us up to date on what's going on with the labor unions here. Thank you so much, Soup. You got any final? Yes.
Shalima, thank you very much. Continue your works, continue your diligent search, your drive, your dedication, your determination to make it better for the union in the territory. And I wish you all the best. And Jagai, Rastafari lives, one perfect love.
All right, well, thank you guys again. And, I'd love to be there in person. But, sometimes, again, things just happen because it's out of our control.
Yeah, but we still got technology, so it still works. We have technology and it still works, so everything is all right.
Yes. So it's a blessing.
Yes, I
took place. So I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity again.
Anytime, Shalima.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
All right, thank you. That was Shalima Edwards, just getting us up to date on the labor unions. Let me make sure that she has dropped there. Yeah, she's all gone. So, Soup, man, another good show, man. Any final words?
I just want the people in the territory to just stay strong, be strong, just continue to do the positive thing, help your brother man, your sister man, whoever that person may be. Just show love, just help them, you know what I mean?
Show love, yeah. That's what Pressure said, show love,
man. One perfect love to one and all, Jagai.
Yeah, man, so we like to say one perfect love is our prayers and his blessings that come down. Is one perfect love. Our prayers and his blessings, you put it all together, you get one perfect love, man. So we're off tomorrow night, Wednesday, but we'll be back on Thursday. We got author Gary James. He's back again. It seems like he was just here the other day, but his time has come again. He'll be back on Thursday. Thursday is the 4th of February. So on that note, man, we're out. You guys have a peaceful, safe evening. And just want to say real quick that this is the It's Your Perspective talk show, streaming live from the VI.com. Most importantly, remember that. We're in a high-tech, low-tech studio, Soup. No radio, no TV, internet only. CHS class of 1982. Moving straight forward and up. The show's mission is just to inform, entertain, and empower everyone. And on that note, we're out. Peace.
The phone number, everybody, 340-201-9005.
340-201-9005. As you see it right there on the screen, that's the number right there to give us a call. So we're going to leave it at that. And we'll see you guys on Thursday at 8 p.m. sharp. We're out. Peace.